There we go. Hello, I make it 3 o'clock and welcome therefore to the District All Section meeting that we said that we'd do. A few of you online, it's a lovely sunny day outside, or it was a moment ago, but I've just heard that there is going to be a thunderstorm warning, yellow warning in Twickenham very shortly, so let's see how that goes. I'm desperately trying to press the buttons here and I don't know why this is not working, but here we go. So here we are, all sections meeting. So this replaces, as you know, all the previous section meetings that we used to have, Cubs, Beavers and Scouts. So we're going to do them all in one. So you don't have to traipse away all across the borough. We're doing this now online. For those of you that are watching in live mode for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to be telling you some important information and a few stories of particular relevance for everyone in sections and programs for young people. So that's you guys. You are going to be muted throughout, so you can wave and scream as much as you like, but we won't be able to see you. But at the end of the session, if you want to submit a question and that sort of thing, there is a little icon at the bottom which looks like a speech bubble. Add something in there if you like. This is being recorded, so those people that are watching this on the recording, clearly you can't bother asking, don't bother asking any questions because it won't work, as they say on Strictly Come Dancing and that sort of thing. We're going to provide the link to this recording later on, and it will obviously be on the website and everything else. So, and please share all the information around. As I say, this replaces all the other previous meetings that we had. So this is going to be the source, the prime source of everything that's up to date around in and around the district. Please encourage all of your other fellow volunteers to watch this or share the link or whatever you need to do, because we want to get as much news out there as possible. Thank you very much. Today it's going to be the usual agenda, some interesting news and current affairs stuff, some stuff around the transformation and the new way of working with my membership. There's some really important information, some breaking news that came out yesterday, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about some district events and activities that are coming up, and going to announce a couple of dates as well that you won't have heard of until right now. There's a little bit of a plug for other district services that are happening in and around and what we're planning for the next term and the next year. And then after that, we're going to have the usual questions and comments and responses for those of you that, as I say, are watching all of this live. It's going to take about 30 minutes or so. So I've got one eye on the clock. It probably might not even take that long, depending on how quick I like. But those of you that know me know that I love the sound of my own voice. So I've got to watch that thing. Okay, here's some news then. So interesting thing, at Walton Firs on the 3rd of May, that was a couple of Fridays ago, 79th conference of the board and committee of the gala dinner at Great Fosters. So it's the World Scout Foundation. Those of you that don't know what the World Scout Foundation is, it's the international non-profit institution based in Geneva in Switzerland, whose mission it is to raise funds, basically. So it's a branch of the World Organization of the Scout Movement. There are an awful lot of dignitaries and important people a part of that. And they had their 79th conference in the Great Fosters in Egham. And on their way there, they decided to pop in and have a look at Walton Firs, as it happens to be around the corner. It also happens to be one of the board chairmen of Walton Firs is also on the World Scout Foundation board as well. Those of you that don't know, Richmond upon Thames is a foundation member of Walton Firs because way back in 2006, under Mike Payne, we contributed a significant amount of money when Walton Firs was up for sale. And as a result of that, because our district is a foundation member, remember you can get a discount when you're booking any of your events at Walton Firs. Remember to say Richmond upon Thames and they'll give you a couple of bob off. So that is important when you do that. But because the World Scout Foundation was visiting, as a foundation district, we were invited, so Tim and I had a pop along and we had a look and we did meet some really important people. The King Gustav the 16th, he is the chairman. He didn't actually make it, but everybody else did. So I think King Gustav didn't actually make the conference either. I think he was doing some kingly things or whatever he was doing. But everybody else did. And here's some wonderful pictures here of Tim and I mixing with royalty and various other people. So I thought you might be interested in that. The sandwiches were absolutely fantastic, by the way, because they were provided by Sly from Second Wind. So there we go. So even Sly has the royal seal of approval at these things. They're really interesting. So they might all be really important guys and all that kind of thing, but all of these people, they were absolutely fantastic, really down to earth, really chatty, really, really nice people. His Royal Highness Prince Guillaume of Luxembourg, I didn't know who he was when he first walked into the tent. In fact, neither Tim nor I looked at anybody particularly. We weren't really knowing what we were letting ourselves in for. He made a beeline for us because he saw the purple scarf, thinking that we were part of the World Scout Foundation as well, because that's their scarf. And he started chatting away, and they're really, really nice people. So anyway, thought I'd just share that with you. It was a fantastic day, and we put Richmond upon Thames on the map in the World Scouts Foundation and the World Organisation of Scout Movement, so they do know now who Richmond upon Thames is. So thought I'd just share that with you, really. Okay, the really important part of this meeting now, or this session, this broadcast, is to talk about the new system and about my membership. That's really embedded now, should I say. It's the new system where it puts you in charge of your own volunteer career. Now that you've got the capabilities to manage your own affairs, but it also means that you personally are responsible for making sure that everything is up to date and everything else. So no longer is it Ian or me or have a whinge. You are responsible for your own destiny on my membership. And with that means that you've actually got some responsibilities with that. You have some responsibilities to make sure that your profile is up to date, that all of your learning is recorded and that sort of thing. Line managers can see some of that, but there's a lot on this system that we can't do. Previously on Compass, you could ring us up and say, oh, could you just twiddle this and fiddle this on the system, that kind of thing. We could do that. These days we can't, because of various regulations and GDPR and all that sort of thing. We can't fiddle with anybody's records anymore. You are the masters of your destiny as far as that's concerned. We can provide you technical support, of course, but we can't change an awful lot of the records. You have to kind of do all of that. So make sure that you've logged in and you're doing all those sorts of things. Which brings me on really to the safety and safeguarding parts. They're the really, really important things on here. One thing to note is that everybody who is young person facing or is in a position of responsibility, in other words, a trustee, everybody must do the safety training by the early summer. There is a deadline, I think it's the 14th of July. And you have to do that by the online system. A lot of people have done all that, but non-compliance will put you at risk. We have said goodbye to a number of people already. We have suspended a number of people whose safety training has expired already. So they're no longer the sort of toothless moan that it was. And that's why Nigel, doing a fantastic job, is bombarding people with reminders and things because it's serious. The thing with all of this, the Scouts can't sustain any longer the idea that we're a bunch of untrained but well-meaning amateurs. We are an association of capable and qualified volunteers and trained to deliver scouting to young people. So we're kind of moving away from this, oh, we're just a volunteer, so therefore, why bother with the training thing? We have to do that. It's for everybody's benefit, but not least of which for the young people as well. So we may be losing a few people temporarily or permanently in July, those people who haven't completed their mandatory training. It is a big issue. So this is a screenshot. Those you can see that is the screenshot from yesterday, which is saying that we've got something 250 odd people that haven't done the new safety training yet. That's a huge number. There are loads of other compulsory training that needs to happen as well, right across the district. That said, our district has been really good. So I'd like to thank you all for all the hard work, particularly the team leaders and group lead volunteers that are working really hard to reduce those numbers. And Nigel is too. So I know Nigel has been working really hard to push all those numbers down. But we still have quite a big gap, and we are worried. Now, as I say, Richmond District, we've been quite good with all of this on the whole, because we are compliant and we are Richmond and we are a top district and all that kind of stuff that I keep telling you. But as of yesterday, the breaking news really is that they've now declared this to be a critical incident nationally, because it's not just Richmond that have this problem about people not logging in and not doing the learning in time. It's right across the board. What does a critical incident mean? That means that the board, the HQ at Gilwell, are meeting at least twice a week now and going through some of those changes and making sure that all the actions are being done. They're taking it really seriously. It is a critical incident now, as I say, because 14th of July is looming really fast. We blink and it kind of will be there. And if we still have nationally thousands upon thousands of people that haven't done that, then we're going to be missing the deadline that was promised for Great Orme, for the coroner, and therefore they will not step back from saying that they will be losing volunteers. We will definitely be losing volunteers as an organisation, not just in Richmond. So what can we do as a district? Well, Nigel, as I say, has been doing some really good stuff. We know that there has been some problems with Data Explorer, that some of the information that's been given to me in that dashboard even earlier is a little bit flaky, is not always 100% accurate. Nigel's working hard to make sure that it is accurate, but I do get some stats directly from the system from headquarters, and they have already been vetted, so I know that they are correct. So if you're going to get a spreadsheet from me, so that I'm talking to team leaders now and group lead volunteers, if you're going to get that stuff that's directly from headquarters, that should be accurate, but you should be able to pull those out from Data Explorer yourself. Nigel is increasing the reminders, as well as from county, as well as headquarters. So I know I'm getting some feedback from volunteers saying, well, how can I stop all these blooming emails from coming to me? I'm getting fed up with all of these emails. Simple answer to that: do the training and they stop. You know, it's not rocket science. It is difficult, I know, but we've got to do this. I'm relying now, and I'm talking to group lead volunteers and team leaders. There are a number of people out there that will have difficulty logging in, that can't do this, that can't click that haven't got access to a computer. We can support all of those things. Where we have got leaders saying, for example, that they haven't got time to log in because they're busy people and busy parents, and we completely get all that. So what the proposal now will be is that if they are running Cubs or Beavers or Scouts or any other section on an evening, give over that evening, and instead of running Cubs or Beavers that evening, do the training evening. Use that as like an inset day. So whether or not we put aside an evening at half term where you're not actually running Cubs, Beavers or Scouts, or you actually are, Group Scout leaders, group volunteers, group lead volunteers, still in the old parlance, we can put aside, perhaps we should put aside an evening just for that, so that we can't say that we haven't got the time, because those volunteers are giving that time, except we're just going to repurpose that time that they're already given to make sure that all of that training and exercise and all of that is done instead. So going to be proposing an inset day. I think we all know what that means. The other thing that we can do as a district is do a teaching and digital support sessions. So here in the hub, I'm sitting in the hub at the minute, We have got all the resources. We've got laptops, we have Wi-Fi, we have connections, and we've got some people that actually know how the system works. So if we need to, and we can do some teachings, we can do some class sessions, either all together or on a one-to-one basis. And we can organise that, whether or not we do that in the half term of an evenings or during the day or weekends and what have you. Please let me know what you want to do. We can do all of that. The bottom line is, though, that we have to make all of this actually work. There is no, oh, well, I just didn't have time after the 14th of July. We will definitely be saying goodbye to some, hopefully not too many, but I want to avoid that as do you, because that will be serious damage. Right, okay, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, going on and on and on, and I'm sure you're very bored with all of that. I've already said all that. We can't sustain being a bunch of untrained but well-meaning volunteers. We're going to be well trained. So anybody that has done all that by the 14th of July, our organisation as a whole nationally will be transformed. We won't be the amateur lot anymore. We will be a properly trained organisation. And I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. So it will have got rid of ghost people. It will have got rid of whole people there that didn't want to be there in the first place. The people that we've got left will be there, will be properly dedicated. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So that's the upside, really. And again, thank you for all the work you've done. It's been a tremendous amount of work. I know what it's like. I've had to go a lot of work myself, working through all of this, and thank you to all of those team leaders and group lead volunteers for doing all of that. Part of that, I've been talking about safety and safeguarding. There is an awful lot of other training that also needs to happen that kind of encompasses into that. First aid, there are a number of people that still need to do first aid. All of those dates are up on the website. Everybody needs to do that every 3 years. That's everyone pretty much in uniform. Nigel is in touch regularly. I know he is. Do book early on those. Nigel has made sure that there is enough provision for everybody to do first aid. So there should not be anybody that hasn't got an allocated place. It is all paid for. It's paid for at source, so no individual has to pay, but we will have to pay for no shows because that does cost. All of those are on the website. You all know how to get onto the website, I assume. It is on richmondscouts.org.uk, and all of those events, they are in the My Member area. The reason for that is it's not really public information, but it's not secret either, so it's an open password, and we can share the password around, as you know, but I'm not going to say this on here because it's going out on YouTube, and we don't the general public to know what all of our secrets. Okay, in other news, we are moving. So despite all the other issues with my membership, as of now, all Nights Away applications, so Nights Away notifications and approvals, we will be using the new system to do that. You need to submit your NAN via the system. So in other words, Nights Away permit holders log in and fill in the form. It's a fairly easy form. It's a fairly simple form to fill in. The advantage of using this, though, is that it does do a lot of vetting by itself already. So once you put names in, it will search for names. It will give you the membership numbers. So you won't have to look any of that up. And it will also give compliance. So it will tell you whether people are have got their first aid certificate and whether or not their DBS is cleared and all those sorts of things. So that helps us an awful lot in terms of that compliance. So we're using that. As of now, all you need to do is to go into members area, approvals, forms and permits on our website, and it will tell you even more about it. But basically what it's saying there is because now that we're moving into the new system, applications must be submitted no later than 7 days prior to your event. So where before I was quite generous and said, oh, okay, well, it's happening tomorrow. And I just kind of, you'd email me and I email you back and say, okay, have a lovely time. Because it's on the new system now, and there are some more traps and admin to go through, we're now asking that to be 7 days. Make sure it's 7 days before. You must complete that form must be absolutely complete, and you must name all the adults that are staying overnight. So no good saying I'm going as the night away holder and there's 7 other people coming. We need those names because it does do that compliance thing. The risk assessment has to be uploaded as well, and that will be checked. So all of this is now moving towards all of the stuff that was required for Great Orme. Once you've submitted the form, please allow 24 hours for it to cook. From my side of the fence, and there are a couple of other people in approval, so there's Matt and Nigel and a few others and Guy, there's no email, there's no automatic anything that happens on this system, or at least it doesn't happen yet. So we have to log in every so often and see if there's a new thing that's appeared on notifications. When that appears, we'll go through, we'll have a look. It's mostly going to be me for the time being anyway. We'll have a look, make sure that it's all compliant, and then that approval will come through. To see if whether it's come through, as I say, log in the next day, and right in the top right hand corner there is a little bell with a little red dot. That should tell you that your notification, and it should change your Nights Away permit Nights Away notification into an approved status. So, and that's all you'll need to do. If it's not approved, if myself or one of the team finds that there is an issue and we can't approve it for one reason or another, that's when we will email the person submitting it. We will email or we'll WhatsApp or we'll call you or something, depending on the urgency of that, and we'll tell you what's wrong and we'll attempt to fix it. Whatever we do, we really want your event to happen. So it's a support thing. It's not a telling off thing. We just really need to make it happen, but we need to make it happen in a safe way. Notwithstanding all of that, you will know that your event must not take place unless you have seen approval. The approval only goes back to the person submitting it. So it's not a workflow. So there is a tick on the form that says I have informed my line manager, my group lead volunteer, but it doesn't tell them anything. They are going to be completely blind to that. So you still need to tell them that as a submitter, and that approval only goes back to you as the submitter. It doesn't go back to a group lead volunteer or anybody else. So I will see that, some of the district team will see that, but that's all. In the group, you won't see that. So I just thought I'd point that out. So you will still need to do all of your internal communications as you would do anyway. So you will need to tell everybody what's happening. The email system NAN at richmondscouts.org.uk will still operate. We've still got that. You can still submit queries. You can still ask what time of day it is and that sort of thing. But we won't accept any more notifications, no more approvals through there. So it's really just a kind of a queries thing, or it will get in touch with everybody on the district team that's involved with NAN forms. But it's really, as I say, more to do with queries and that sort of thing as opposed to actual submission. I hope that's okay. That now takes effect as of now. We've had a few already. The system has worked on the whole. A couple of funny little glitches, but I won't go into that now. But on the whole, that's working. That's working for us in the district, and that's also working right across Greater London South West. And just to let you know as well, that Owen does do some random spot checks on them as well, just to keep me and the district team in check, so that we're not just open to bribery and just sort of signing things off randomly. We're not. is all about safety and everything else. We're all watching each other's back on that front. Here's a picture of the form. You can see here applying for Nights Away. So it really is very easy. If you use the online form previously on our own website, it's very similar, except that it also does some auto-fills, as I say, for names and that sort of thing. But you do have to upload risk assessment on there. Other processes on the new system will be permit applications. So if you want to apply for anything from archery to hill walking to everything else, anything boaty, anything else, everything will need to be go through the new system now. You'll see that on the screen. You look at the permit application on your screen. You choose what permit you fancy doing. You can read all about it. One thing on there, though, is that you need to select your assessor. If you don't know who that is, come through Nigel or myself, but there are some names on there if you do know who that is. It's up to you then to make that arrangement as to where you're going to be and that sort of thing. And then they're registered on the system. And then, again, you are the master of your own destiny. As far as that system is concerned, the assessor will complete your application. We'll go through all of that, and it all kind of works by magic. And then you will get your permit, and you'll see that all through the system. The other thing on there is adult awards. So that whilst the district awards panel will still work and will still go through and be actively looking for people that deserve recognition, you are now able to submit your own awards if you think that's right. If people aren't eligible for an award for one reason or another, and there's quite a lot of criteria, the system will tell you that they're not quite ready to do that yet for one reason or another. But there's nothing to stop you having a go, and there's nothing to stop you contacting the district awards panel as well. Where the district award panel has identified somebody that should be recognised, and we think that it should be recognised for something, we will get in contact with the line manager of that person, and we will ask the line manager to complete this nomination. So even if you haven't decided you wanted to nominate somebody yourself, if you are a manager, if you're a team leader or a group lead volunteer, you might get asked by the awards panel to fill in a nomination, at least in part, if not in full. The reason for that being is that we won't necessarily know all the ins and outs of a person's career at the awards panel. You guys know your own people better than we ever do. Good. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, so just a little plug now. So here's a word from our sponsors, if you like. It is the district website. Make sure that you do know all the passwords. Everything is on there. There's a whole bunch of new stuff on there, all the new processes, as I say. We've got some new events that are coming up, and that everything is always on the website. So before you start putting pen to paper or email to me, is this happening or is that something? Have a look on the website first. It's all there. Everything is going to be. Everything is our thing in common. So here's a quick look at the district events this term. So all you've got to do is obviously look at events. We've got a whole bunch of stuff happening in the busy season now. We've got our activity badges for Beavers, the Richmond Twinning Parade, Water Weekend, Gilwell Fun Day. We've got several hundred people, young people, beavers, cubs, and a few squirrels, I understand. That's going to Gilwell. The coaches, courtesy of Greater London South West. So thank you, Greater London South West. Scientist badge for cubs. Barra Camp is happening in July. And of course, the big event, the Happy Birthday Camp, in August. Before I just move on, what was I going to say? I was going to say that we've had some feedback that cubs haven't had very many activities lately in the last couple of years, so we are focusing, as I promised in the last broadcast. We're looking very hard at what we can do to improve the services for cubs. Anyway, Happy Birthday Camp is coming out. it's all happening. Look, all the merch is here. Look, we got the things. I'm even going to put my hat on and what have you. So I can't see. Yeah, I can. You can see my hat. All the stuff is happening. We've got all the woggles. We've got all the merch. So we're really, really excited. We're on the final throws now. There is a cut-off date of the 20th of May. We need all the provisional numbers for that, not least of which so that we know how many coaches to organise, how many tickets off-site to buy. We can accept some late changes, obviously, and some late entries, but the invitation is still out there. So we do have, and I'm pleased to say, we've got at least a couple of hundred people, hundreds of people coming every day. So it's going to be a fantastic camp. It's going to be one of the happiest summer camps, I think, especially if the weather holds out. And the offer is still there about partnering up, and if you haven't got enough volunteers, we can still do all that. Please don't say we haven't got enough leaders or anything like that. We do across the district. This is all about, one of our charitable aims is to give a fantastic camping experience to as many young people as we possibly can. Right, okay, that's enough plugging for that. Somebody asked not that long ago and said, oh, I haven't heard any more about Poland. Are we still happening? Is Poland thing still happening? I can say categorically, absolutely it is. We have paid all the deposits. So our big event of 2027, for those of you that don't know, we're planning to take all of the older scouts, that's older scouts and explorers, to Poland itself. We'll be camping nearby to the World Scout Jamboree with the intention of having a day trip to the World Scout Jamboree, which is not too far away. And that will all be included. We don't need to bring tents. We don't need to bring anything else other than personal gear and perhaps some sleeping stuff. Everything else was going to be provided. It's all inclusive, all food, everything, and including all the trips, but also include all the transport there and the transport back. People are saying, well, how much is the ticket? Well, your guess is as good as ours at this moment. The biggest cost will obviously be transport. So whether that's air transport or coach transport or anything else. So the way that the world is going at the moment, all the prices are all changing every 5 minutes. So, but I can guarantee you it will be a four-figure sum. It's going to be in the region of £1,000 or more. Start saving now. I don't know how much it's going to be, but there you go. The other thing to note is people have said, yeah, but I'm a cub leader, so I don't need to know anything about that. Yes, you absolutely do, because in 2027, the cubs that are cubs today will all certainly be scouts in 2027 if you keep hold of them. So it is very relevant for cub leaders as well. So there we are, big plug for that. Another announcements, Explorer Belt expedition is happening in July, and some new dates for September. Well, they've only just gone up on the website. The big one being 12th of October. We're announcing Day Prowl. Some people have already asked and said, is Day Prowl happening in 2025? Yes, it absolutely is. Over the success of the Windsor Great Park Day Prowl last year with all the wonderful gadgetry and GPS trackers and all that sort of thing, we're going to repeat the exercise, but this time we're going to be repeating the exercise in the South Downs. So it won't be at Windsor Great Park. That's what we're aiming for. There's still planning stuff to do, but it's definitely on the cards, and exactly this similar format. We will be inviting guides and everybody else as well. So look out for that. The booking form, I think is said that we'll start to look at the booking forms in June, so that we can start formalising that and start ordering GPS trackers and stuff before we break up for the summer. So loads of things that's happening, loads. We're going to have a busy next year as well, and busy autumn term, essentially. Quick plug as well. So don't forget 14th Richmond District Boating Centre, evening boating on the Thames. That's all still open. Book them. They are fantastic. Have a fantastic time with them. So don't forget those. Put those in your programme. Graham and his team are still available and taking bookings for this term as well. They will be at Happy Birthday Camp and various other things as well, I understand. So they're getting really busy, but they are really popular. Do some fantastic Scout skills. Make sure that you utilize them. At this moment, it's free or a nominal charge for materials. But what a fantastic resource that really is for our Scouts in this district. I don't think any other district does anything even remotely close to that. So do take advantage of that. Jack Petchey for Scouts and Explorers. The summer term is open. We've had quite a few nominations in already. The nominations will be closing in the next 2 weeks. There are a couple of places left. So if you haven't done that, young people, yeah, absolutely. There's young people places left. So nominate young people. The adult places are full. So we've got all of that. That's all done. So make sure that's there. A little plug for the district shop. Don't need to plug the district shop. It's working really well. Everyone's using that really well. It's just a kind of reminder to plug those guys. And finally, I'm just looking at the clock. So just to remind you, so on that photograph, on that conference thing that I showed you right at the beginning, wonderful. So on the website of the World Scout Foundation, there is a little bit where they did go and visit. And there's a picture, and thanks to Martin Milner of East Sheen, there's a wonderful picture of me with the World Scout people, and I seem to be picking my nose. I'm not actually picking my nose, incidentally. I'm not picking my nose. I'm having a little bit of a scratch on the side, but what a wonderful photo to put on the World Scout Movement website. So there we are. I think that's the end of my presentation. I've gone over the half an hour very slightly, but there you have it. I think I've now finished my presentation. I don't know how I finish my bit on here. I think I just do end presenting. And there we are. I've finished my end presenting. I don't know if there's any other questions. If anybody wants to ask anything or do anything, I haven't got, hang on, I've got to get that bit up there. He says, chat with everyone. All right. Yes. You can call messages, send a message. No, so I haven't got, and nobody said anything, which is either a really good thing or a really bad thing. I don't know. But if you want to say anything right now, that's really good. Hope it didn't bore you too much. The weather, what's the weather like? It's still quite nice, still really warm out there. So I hope that the people that aren't here are enjoying all of the wonderful summer that we have been having. I'm going to do loads and loads more, but it does save me going out to millions of meetings doing this thing. So if there's no other questions, you're all on mute. So if you do want to ask a question, you're going to have to type it in the little box in that little thing in the corner. But if not, I'm going to wish you a fantastic. Oh, look at my happy birthday woggle, by the way. Really nice happy birthday woggle. You're going to want one of those. You really are going to want one of those. And the happy birthday bottle. Look at that. You're going to need one of those. Absolutely. We're going to give those away as prizes, by the way. So you have to work hard for those. You don't just get given them. Anyway, there we go. I think I'm waffling enough. I'm looking around the room. Can we all finish now? I think we probably can. But you know how to get in touch with me anyway. Door is always open. Myself and the team, we take pride in responding to you as quickly as we possibly can. If I haven't responded to you in 24 hours, that means that I've lost your email or I never saw it in the first place or something. But myself and all the team are very, very quick to respond to you. So thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this. If you're watching this not live, watching this on a recording, have a wonderful rest of whatever you're doing, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.